I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Here. Councilwoman Shaw? Here. Councilman Sandifer?
Here.
Councilwoman Turnage? She on her way? Okay, Councilman Locke?
Here.
Council President Augur?
Here.
Mayor Holly?
Here.
This is to state for the record that this meeting is being held according to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Section 5, by emailing and faxing notice to the Union County local source, the Home News Tribune, and the Star Ledger, posting on the Borough Hall bulletin board, posting on the Roselle website, and filing said notice in the office of the municipal clerk.
Can we stand for the flag salute behind you in the corner here? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Resolution 212-098. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve 2012-098 as presented.
Second.
Discussion. The first since I've been in these. So, I need a moment to take a look at what we're paying.
We'll come back to it. Can you withdraw the motion?
Just table the motion.
Table it.
Is there a motion to table?
Table the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 212-099. Resolution authorizing agreement between Borough, Zone, and County of Union Cooperative Pricing Council. Is there a motion?
I move to approve 2012-099 as read.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turnage?
Yes.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Augur?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution 212-100. Resolution hiring recreation leader. Is there a motion?
I move to approve I move to approve resolution number 2012-100, resolution hiring recreation leader as read.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes.
First off, if this information was discussed in the Recreation Committee, it never came out of committee to be discussed with the council at a workshop or anything else. What's the emergent nature of this, that we have to have this at a special meeting without any discussion, without any report from the Recreation Committee that this was discussed, this is what the game plan is, this is exactly why we're taking these steps? Okay, what is the sense of having committees that meet to move different agendas forward in the borough if it never comes out of committee and it's never discussed in a workshop meeting? Is this emergent? What's the emergent nature of this, that we had to entertain this at a special meeting?
Is that your final question?
No, I have several questions.
Sure. You want to go with the questions and we can
The second question is, this is for a recreation leader, $55,000 a year. Is this part-time or full-time?
Your other questions?
I have follow-up questions contingent upon what the answer is.
Councilwoman, you want to talk regarding that?
Sure. First of all, it was brought up numerous times at various meetings by the mayor, who said he had an interest in making sure we had this type of position. And administrator, myself, and other members of the committee, that would be Human Resource Committee, did sit down and go over, after having posted the position to do within committee, was to evaluate everybody who applied for the position. Clearly, we highly recommend, as you saw in your resolution, the packet was sent to you, Councilwoman Turnage, with the resume, with the information. It is a full-time position, and if there's any further questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Yes, I do have further questions. Desire that they want to go in. The mayor doesn't sit on a committee. So it's incumbent upon the committee chair or the fourth to the council, not at a special meeting, as if it's an emergent issue. So I do take issue with that. Question is, time position, where will this individual be housed? Where will their office be? Where will they work out of? And I need a brief synopsis of what their duties are as it is applicable to the Borough of Roselle, not what the Department of Personnel in its very vague description or synopsis says that this person may or may not do this. How does it fit into Roselle? What is specifically their duties and where will their office be?
Well, Councilwoman, the business administrator is working as we speak along with the community center to make room in the community center. There's an additional office and we're going to be redesigning that separate office. Mostly this individual will be out and about quite a bit in a number of situations related to all of our recreation sites, but he will be using that facility. If that facility is not adequate, the business administrator will certainly take it under consideration as we move forward as to where the best place would be for him to be located. Secondarily, you know, as you know, certainly we have sat on Human Resource Committee in the past as well as recreation together in the past, in the distant past. And it's not uncommon when we put out for to everybody's awareness for a particular position, it takes a few months. This was not an overnight thing. It's been discussed. We did the appropriate work to have people apply. We are a civil service town, so what's attached to your packet, of course, is the civil service duties. But as a municipal municipality, we have the right to add or subtract any additional responsibilities that we see fit. And the business administrator will be sitting down at all future meetings. In fact, next week we have a meeting to go over all and every additional responsibility in detail that will be appropriate for that particular title.
When you were discussing this in committee,
This will be your final question,
can you give me
Councilwoman.
a brief synopsis on, at the pleasure of being a council
I will.
person and basically trying to, you know, get
I have no
information
problem.
about this,
No, it's
because
a
this was
final
called at a
question.
special
No
meeting? Okay, so since you've discussed this in committee and
Yeah.
you've committed to hiring someone,
Right.
what was the basic job description? Give me a brief
Well, the
synopsis
job
as it applies to the borough.
And as I said to you, much of what you saw in the civil service outline for that particular job, however general it may seem to you, in addition to give you a brief synopsis, everything related to any form of recreation, parks, cultural events, commercial involvement, budgets, any kind of, incoming money and revenues that have to come in, assessing what needs to be done additionally to enhance our current recreation programs, what needs to be done to get the money, grant-wise, as well as an extension outside the community with various organizations. This will be a very well-rounded program, extremely extensive, of which our candidate has enormous numbers of contacts that will help Roselle not only refine and improve our recreation in this community, both for seniors, young people. It will improve all of the sporting events that go on in each of our fields, our parks which are being remodeled, and we expect quite an extension of what we already offer at a cost-efficient operation.
I have
Any
one
other-
final question. Out of everyone that applied, is it improper, is it a conflict of interest that we hire a sitting council person's husband for that position?
And that is a good question. It was my concern too, so I made sure, and we as a committee looked into that, and the business administrator, and what we found, that it is not a conflict of interest, and different than perhaps the boards of education, which may have a different legal background in terms of something like this. Of course, our councilwoman, our city councilwoman, will have to recuse herself from certain voting situations.
I should have said ethical, but okay,
Well, we
that's
can
my
speak to
final
ethics.
question.
We can speak to ethics. The commitment here on the part of, and we spoke at length about this, because we were concerned about perception, especially political spins that try to make something positive into something negative. You know, we did discuss it at great length, and what the goal and objective here, number one, was Roselle first, okay? And that what we wanted to do was make sure that anyone who assumed this position, okay, was more than qualified, because we have and hope to have great things happen in this community for our children and our seniors that go far beyond what we've been able to offer them thus far.
Any other comments from any other council people?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. As the chairman of finance and then the council president, we just discussed this position. That's why we put in place the salary ordinance. At that time, I think Councilwoman Turnage brought the issue about why we need to hire more people. We did discuss that at a meeting. We did discuss it during workshop. And then the salary was discussed between the president of the council and then the committee, and then we decided to set it at $55,000. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanted to add that as we select from a pool of candidates, the best candidate or any candidate should not be precluded just because they happen to have a spouse that's employed by the borough, especially if there's nothing forbidding saying on the books already, right? In fact, I know of several couples, married couples that are domiciled that work in the same building, never mind employed in different capacities. So again, I'd hate to see the best candidate that came forward be precluded just because his wife chose to also serve the borough.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilwoman Vanswell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Abstain?
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
No.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Homer?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw, congratulations. You interviewed well, had the opportunity to sit in your interview. I think you were one of the best qualified candidates. There were several candidates from Roselle as well. Your resume really spoke for itself. You interviewed very well, and I know the wonderful work you've done in Essex County, and look forward to having you work here with our children as you have Pop Warner and working with Pop Warner and the different sports organizations in the town.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations.
We pull them 212 dash.
Thank you.
We're gonna pull 212-0101. We're gonna go to 212-102A, resolution hiring recreation aid.
I move that we approve resolution number 2012-102A as presented.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, Councilman.
Okay, again, we're hiring a and one question that I didn't ask, and I guess it's applicable to this too. Where is all this money coming from? Where is the salaries coming from? Where's the sustainability?
The salaries are coming from the budget,
From the budget?
yes.
And where are we getting the money from to put in the budget for the salaries?
Councilman, just so you're.
It sounds like an elementary question,
Yeah.
but we've done a lot of hiring and we've given out a lot of raises
Yes.
in the past 2 months.
And if I might, Mayor, yeah, okay, you know, Councilwoman Turnage, if you recall, the
Let's
first-
speak in the here and now.
Okay,
Okay.
oh, I see,
Let's speak in the here and now.
Okay.
I'm asking about
Okay.
the salaries, I'm asking about where the money is
Yeah.
coming from. I know about
we
the
had a
budget.
conversation with our BA, with our CFO, we are in the process, I'm sure that Chairman Alberg will tell you, that we're in the process of making sure that our budget, both for salaries, for 2012 and beyond, compensate for the increase in this particular hiring in this recreation aid. Recreation leader. In addition to that, since we're still on that, and hopefully that'll be the last question, he will be in charge of additional revenues coming in that will help self-liquidate some of that salary, which has never been done before, which has to do with grants, which he is well versed in for recreation, for seniors as well as young people, in addition to the monies that we have not been getting for things like the use of our fields, for commercial advertising around our fields. So all of this income, of course, will be looked at and added to. We intend to make sure that we keep this budget lean and mean for the future, but with better resources applied to things that are most important in this community.
We're
And from-
talking
let
about
me
the
just talk- let me-
recreation
let me
aid,
talk
not
from-
the direct.
Okay, going back to the
let me
aid.
talk from
That's
that,
what I was
from
saying.
an administrative standpoint.
Yeah.
Looking back at the last administration, Councilwoman, there was no such position in the camp system, nor in civil service system, nor in our borough structure for recreation aid. These two positions that you're going to be voting on are positions that are currently being held by someone currently right now, which is Mr. George Williams and Mr. B.T. Mathis. We are doing our due diligence as a new administration to put these particular titles in line with the camp system and also civil service system. So this is not two additional positions that you're referring to. These are positions already being held by other people. We are actually inserting them into the borough government in its proper place as we speak and vote on these particular positions.
Okay, so what you're saying is, BT Mathis will be doing the same job, but instead of $10 an hour, it'll be $17.50 an hour, and he'll be in the camp system.
No,
Or
that's-
will he do this part-time job in addition to the part-time job he already has with the borough?
No,
I'm a
that-
little confused.
No, that's not what we're saying. What we're saying here is that B.T. Mathis will be the recreation aide, which he'll serve as the senior director for the center, and Mr. Wills Paul will act as a recreation aide in the center.
And then let me just add also, those are the things that we discussed. Yes, Mr. BT was making $10 an hour. That was money coming from CDBG. That money still will be coming from CDBG. Now we asked Mr. BT to do more from the recreation part, where he's not gonna be just coming, doing the same thing. He's gonna be more involved in recreation and rebuilding the course. So we got to give him more money for more responsibility. And then this is something that we discussed, and then finance was really involved in increasing, and in dealing with the mayor. This is one thing that we haven't had before, where the mayor, we have a plan and discussing with finance to see where the money is going to come, because that was one of your questions. The money came from breakage. We have people that retired last year. When we plugged the numbers on Monday, we got money to hire those people in the budget now, and then that's why we can afford it.
I don't think Mr. Mathis's salary comes from CBDG. I think it's Mr. Williams' salary that comes from that. I think Mr. Mathis gets paid out of the budget, if I'm not mistaken.
But either way, we have CDBG money allocated for those two employees.
Okay, so you're saying that all the rest of these people that are being hired this evening
They're not
is
all the
coming
people,
from
excuse me.
breakage, from
Councilman, we're talking about,
retirement from
we're
last
talking
year?
about recreation aid right at this point.
You got two recreation aid that's where a different title under the community center. Mr. Matis is gonna keep his job with more responsibility, and you're gonna bring somebody new replacing Mr. Williams.
Has Mr. Williams been informed of that? Are we discussing Mr. Williams and he doesn't even know he doesn't have a job yet?
Roll call, please.
Is that the case?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dansborough,
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Sanford,
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner,
No.
Councilman Locke,
Yes.
Council President Holden.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Resolution 212-103, resolution hiring economic development coordinator. I'm sorry.
D.
Resolution 212-102B, resolution hiring recreation aid.
I move that we approve resolution number 2012-102B as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Oh, Mayor, can you just, it's Will's Paul, not Willis Paul.
I didn't type one.
It's WILLS.
Willis,
It's not Willis, it's Wills.
Wills,
Drop the
or-
I.
Drop the I.
Second.
but there's an S at the end.
Yeah.
That'll be corrected.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dansborough?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
No.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
Council President Marbury?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution 212-103, resolution hiring economic development coordinator.
I move that we approve resolution number 212-103 as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Discussion.
Roll call.
Discussion.
Roll call. I said, you had an opportunity to say when we were going through it.
When discussion? We just got a second. I said discussion. Are you trying to
No, I'll give you the
overspeak my
courtesy.
discussion?
I'll give you the courtesy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very
You're welcome.
much. Okay, again, here we go again. We're hiring an economic development coordinator. Is this a part-time or a full-time position?
This will be a full-time position, and the funds that are being appropriated for this particular position will be through our UEZ, which we have UEZ money for, that was sent back from us from the state of New Jersey that we must use for administrative purposes.
Okay, so where are we, is the appropriation for the $43,000 offices that we're renting, is that coming out of UEZ funds too?
Currently, we applied for a grant with the County of Union through the CBDG that should cover the cost of the rent for the building.
Have we gotten the grant?
We have not received it yet.
But, okay, again, the cart before the horse.
But
I'm done.
No, you're not done. You're not gonna make a statement and not have an answer for it. The rent is being applied for by a grant. In addition, there's $1.2 million that we received from UEZ for administrative costs and UEZ expenses. That will currently be taken out of the UEZ account that we have that we got from the state.
Again, I asked at the last meeting, Mr. Holly, how many times are you gonna spend that UEZ money? How many times?
Councilwoman, you can't spend UEZ money on everything. There's a specific amount you must use UEZ on. That's administrative purposes, facade programs, acquisition, and things like rental space that we're talking about now. The UEZ money is not spent.
Every time I ask the
Donna,
question of where the money is coming from, I've been told the past couple of meetings do UEZ money.
Donna, have we
So I need a
spent?
full accounting of
Well,
We
UEZ
didn't spend a
money.
dollar of it yet.
Thank you.
Nothing.
But we're
Roll call.
appropriating money.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
No.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
Council President Marbury?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Let me just make a comment. This is something that we really need in Roselle. The mayor's goal is to bring business, economic development, and then Mrs. Ma, congratulations. I think what you've been doing someplace else, I hope you can bring that to Roselle, because everybody's complaining about bringing rentable, and then when it's time to vote for the main people to do that, they vote no. But congratulations, and I wish that you're gonna bring more rentable for Roselle, more businesses, and then we'll work with the Chamber of Commerce to do that. Thank you. Congratulations.
Resolution 212-104, resolution appointing Office of Emergency Management Coordinator.
I move that we approve resolution number 2012-104 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
Yes.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
Council President Marbury?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations, Tommy.
Tommy, congratulations to you. I know it's a bittersweet undertaking. John Young was very close to you, but I know you're going to fill his shoes very well. Not as big, but I know you're going to do it very well. We're very proud to have you, step up to the plate, and we know you'll make us proud.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Resolution 212-105, resolution appointing Everett Hatcher Municipal Alliance Coordinator.
I move we approve resolution.
Revelation.
It took so long, it is a
Get the Bible-
revelation.
get the Bible out.
It is a revelation.
That would have been good if the meeting was last night.
Resolution number 2012-105, appointing the Everett Hatcher Municipal Alliance Coordinator.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
Yes.
Councilman Long?
Yes.
Council President Marbury?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Councilman 106 should be pulled.
Yeah, hold on. And I do apologize to finance. You did make a special request that I put you first. I do apologize. The concept.
Okay.
We're pulling 106.
Yeah,
Resolution 212-107, resolution appointing members to the Everett Hatcher Municipal Alliance Committee.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 2012-107.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
Abstain.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Albert?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Resolution 212-108, resolution amending cash management plan. Is there,
I move that we approve resolution number 2012-108 as presented.
Discussion.
Second.
is there any discussion?
Yep.
Yes, Councilman.
Since this is the first time I'm seeing it sitting down, and this is something else that I've been requesting, can you give us a synopsis on the cash management plan? What has changed, what your objective is?
It's exactly the same as you adopted in January. The only difference is we added 3 more banks in. This way, in case rates get better or we wanna move some money around, it gives us the opportunity to use different banks. That's all it does.
Okay, so that's Spencer, Roselle Savings, and MBIA.
No, Bank of America, MBIA was already on there,
Spencer and Roselle Savings.
and Bank of America. Those 3 were added. That's the only thing that's changed from the cash management plan.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Dancer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sanford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
Abstain.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Albert?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Resolution 212-109, resolution appointing intake counselor as a temporary employee under the Workforce Investment Act Youth Program.
I move that we approve resolution 2012-109 as presented.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes.
Okay, this is a program, as I understand it, that lasts from March to June.
Correct.
Okay, specifically, what will the intake worker be doing, and how will the kids be hired? Like,
Ms.
From
Guest, you
March
wanna
to
come
June.
forward? Want to thank Ms. Guest for putting this grant together. We were successful in getting this funded through the Union County Freeholder and the Youth Investment Board. Councilwoman Turner's question was the person who's, how is this all going to be done in terms of the intake and how the kids going to be hired?
There are very, very specific guidelines for the children to be hired. And specifically, they have to be students who are 17 or 18 years old, students who come from economically deprived families, students who are at risk, primarily. They have awarded us 30 slots for the students. An integral part of the success of the program will depend on the case manager. And that case manager will be responsible for virtually everything, seeing the process from beginning to ending, in terms of having to help identify the businesses with whom we're going to work, and also working directly with Mrs. Oliphant at the high school, the guidance counselors, the transition coordinator, so that we can ensure that we get the appropriate student for the appropriate job.
okay, so from March to June, what are the jobs? Like, just a basic example, what are we looking at in terms of jobs?
Okay, from March, I need to be specific when I start to talk about dates. The program itself runs from March the 5th through June 30th. However, the students will not be employed until March the 13th, because from March the 5th through the 13th, we have to run workshops with them, with workplace readiness, basic skills, interviewing, all of that. What they have asked us to do with the grant is to look at a cross-section of all of the businesses in Roselle and try to, A, match students to jobs so that the outcome base would be that if the student does the job well enough, and the program is successful enough, then they will continue to hire the students over into the summer.
All right, so the students act as an intern and this grant basically pays their salary?
Absolutely.
Okay, I got you. And we have businesses lined up that would be more than willing to take on these interns, or is that
We are-
something that's forthcoming?
We are working directly, as a matter of fact, we had a meeting prior to this. We are working directly with the Chamber of Commerce to identify those businesses.
Okay.
Roll call?
Wait a minute, let me just.
Yeah, sure.
John, I just want to thank you for the hard work, not only to
Yes.
get the grant and then to explain, what you put down to put in the application now. And then I was lucky enough that the mayor invited me to a meeting where I understand exactly what they're trying to do is to create a way like to get 30 kids out of the high school that they already be identified already, right?
Yes,
Because you work with the principal, and
Yes.
then you're gonna funnel them to the training, and then you can place them in different business in town. And
absolutely.
then this is one of the goal of the mayor is try to create job for Roselle resident,
Mhm.
and then he brought the grant with your help.
Mhm.
And I think everybody should encourage things like that. And then, like I told him, your easy money can be used for something like that also.
Yes.
Because you're creating jobs,
Yes.
you're training them to create an economic environment. Mayor, congratulations, it's a
And
good plan.
thank you.
Good team
I
effort.
might add that this is sort of like a one-shot deal, the first time around that Roselle has applied and received. So what we are banking on is doing such an outstanding job. So when the long-term plan is rolled out, we can jump right in there
Absolutely.
and be ready.
And-
That is our long-term
And this is
goal.
part of, and Ms. Guest, I want to thank you enough and the team that we've tried to assemble. This is all part of Roselle First, and this is just one component, which is the youth component, which, kind of came at us really fast with the grant opportunity. But this is all part of Roselle First, putting our people back to work. As I mentioned to some folks before, Roselle First is going to consist of a youth component, a prison reentry component, a veteran component, and regular employment, where people will have a one-stop shop center to gain job skills, employment opportunities, and job training. And it's all going to fall under the economic development coordinator who we all hired to stimulate this, to keep this going. So thank you again.
Incredible.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Dansborough?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turnage?
Yes.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Holman?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Resolution 212-110, resolution authorizing the release of a mortgage on the property known as 1126 Frank Street.
I move that we approve resolution number 2012-110 as presented.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Yes. Just so that I understand how this works, is the Borough of Roselle the actual owner of this mortgage? They're the ones that have this mortgage on this property?
Councilman, this is, what this is the NSP program. So we received federal money we entered into a contract with NSA, Roselle NSP, which is rehabilitating housing. When the money comes through the state to Roselle, to the developer to rehabilitate the housing, the mortgage is put in Roselle's name, although we're really just a pass-through for the money. Now that they've completed this house and they're doing several properties, they have a purchaser for the house, and so we have to release the mortgage in order for the purchaser to buy the house. And it's all low and moderate income housing.
Any other discussion items? Roll call?
Councilwoman Dansborough?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turnage?
Yes.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Holman?
Yes.
The motion passes.
Ordinance for introduction and first reading. Ordinance authorizing the leasing of certain property known as Suites 103 and Suites 104, located at 121-125 Chestnut Street, Roselle, New Jersey, by the Borough, and appropriating sums required therefore.
I move that we approve ordinance number 2425-12.
Second.
An ordinance authorizing the listing of certain property known as Suite 103 and 104, located at 121-125 Chestnut Street, Roselle, New Jersey, by the Borough, and appropriating sums required therefore.
And the public hearing will be held on March 21st, 2012 at 7 p.m.
Discussion.
Oh, discussion.
Yes.
Mayor, can you tell me exactly which property this is? Is this the one, the new property right across the street?
From the post office? What do you have
Where
there?
the retail store, Lowe's store,
Yeah.
and the basement?
Correct.
Not the basement.
But it won't be the basement, it'll be the first floor suites 103 and 104. But it's the new building you're talking about?
It is.
Yes. Okay. And just so everyone is clear, this is the leasing space that will house the Economic Development Department and Roselle First, the Roselle First Initiative. Inside, he's got parking. Mhm. Roll call?
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
No.
Councilwoman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Longo?
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading.
Thank you. Open this portion of the meeting to the public. Bill list? Oh, we gotta go back to the bill list, sorry.
Whoever moved, put on, table, has to move to take it off the table.
I move to take, okay, I move to take the bill list off the table.
Second.
Discussion?
No discussion.
Roll call?
We have to move up to the.
I move that we approve 2012-198 as presented.
Second.
Roll call, apologize.
Councilwoman Dancero?
Yes.
Councilwoman Shaw?
Yes.
Councilman Sandifer?
Yes.
Councilwoman Turner?
No.
Councilman Locke?
Yes.
Council President Longo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'd like to open up this portion of the meeting to the public. Please state your name and address for the record.
Maria Hagener, 920 Spruce Street. I'm gonna work backwards about the leasing of the property across the street. Don't we have property that we own on our own without leasing? Well, we have Chet and John's, which we know that's a shambles. We have that building between Chet and John's and the firehouse, that's been closed for 15 years. We have probably emergency management probably has 2 rooms that we could put together. The basement of this building we could put together. So we need to spend $43,000 a year. Not including the electronic systems that have to be put in order for these offices to be running smoothly. So it's gonna be more than that per year, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, who are the Edward Hatcher Alliance members, please? Since we weren't
So
privy
this is
to
about
that.
20 people. I can give you
20
that
people,
after.
would you
I can
please?
leave it.
Thank you. How much, well, you know, she already answered, I apologize. How many people retired last year that we're supposed to be using?
I'm sorry, I don't understand. What do you mean?
We were saying that we're using retirement money now to hire new people, so, because if there was people that were retired last year, so how many people retired?
I mean, I can give you a breakdown. I just don't have that particular.
3, 4,
More than
maybe
that.
more?
More than
More?
that.
Police officers?
We have a bunch of people
Firefighters.
last
You
year.
got police officers, and then we got other department that we closed down.
Now, somebody made a comment, and I forgot to write down who made the comment, but they said the previous administration. Well, the previous administration had $2 million in surplus. I hate to even ask the CFO how much money we have. So I would, be very careful on what you say about the previous administration, because it was very harped on. We had a big Borough Hall meeting that there was $2 million in surplus, and you all know about it, so don't look like you're a little cockeyed, because you all know about it, you were at that same meeting. Now, Ms.
Please tell me.
Dandro,
I would love to find that.
really? Really?
You
That was
already.
part of the program with the field, remember?
No,
The field,
no, yeah,
remember?
before you put those numbers,
Okay.
I think the numbers are about 1.3, but we got tons of bill we're not paid.
Oh.
So that's something
In
you
that
gotta make
previous
correction.
administration.
All right, well, then I would like to see that.
Yeah, if you got
No, I-
$1.3 million on your sheet and you got so many bills we're not paid, that's why you have
your CFO
issue.
didn't pay the bill?
Well, I would like to see
It wasn't
that. I would like to see
$2 million.
that.
All right, well,
I would definitely like to see
And let me
that.
stand corrected, because if it's $2 million in surplus and we have it here, I would love to find it and put
Well,
it to good use.
apparently
Spent it
somebody
already.
spent it, somebody spent it. Now, today I spent over an hour today, which was heart-wrenching, with a senior that is losing his home due to high property taxes. Killed me to death, okay? I have 2 seniors that passed away. My parents passed away, and I would do anything for them. And this administration has done nothing but hire equipment, police officers, what have you. I know we need some things, but we certainly don't need all of these things. Now, this year, we have to abide by Christie's law, 2% cap. I don't see it coming. We can't stay under that 2% cap. We can't. Not with all the matching of grants. All these bonds that we're getting these bonds.
They're not part of that 2%
Okay,
for information.
all right, but still, because we don't know, did we pay all our bills from last year? No.
Of course we pay.
Well, all our bills were zero from
We're not
last year.
zero,
Everything is
That's
done.
what we're voting on the bills.
Exactly.
Okay, so nothing is not totally paid. So is there any money left in last year's budget?
Of course.
How much?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? Oh, you don't know yet?
Yeah, because we wait
Well,
for
how
the
much do we
access
have
report.
right now?
Last time we checked, what,
You're in the
$12 million?
finance office.
We had $12 million last week.
You have $12 million last week?
As a liquid money. So
That's before or after the $5 million you paid at the end of the year?
no, that was right after that.
That's before?
No,
or
after we paid that. We paid that since December.
We're not gonna go back.
Okay.
Just, Ms.
Okay.
Hagner, your last question?
Now, about the senior, I got a little distracted. It's a shame. This man has paid his house fully, and at his senior years, 80-some-odd years old, has to now resort to maybe losing his house. And none of these people up there are even thinking twice about the seniors and those folks that are needing help financially in this terrible economic problem that we have right now. Not only the borough, every single town in the state of New Jersey is laying off police officers, firefighters, cutting down departments. Roselle is the only one that's hiring. Hey, please let me know about that crystal ball, because I like to know about it too. Because I know how much money I spent, and I know that you can't spend over that, or else I'm going to be in trouble. Borough, I don't know. No one knows. No one knows. The previous CFO, no one knows. This one is part-time, but she's got a full-time employee. No one knows. The people of this town, the taxpayers, need to know how much we owe, how much we have, and what is the plan. The plan is not keep hiring and keep building and adding. We have buildings that we own. Hey, this house at Frank Street, if we own it, why not put those two people instead of paying the $40,000, $43,000? Okay? Wood Avenue has doctor's offices. They're using regular homes to do that. Why can't we do that? See, they think there's no meeting of the minds. And I feel sorry for you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Ms. Hager, you reside in the third ward?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're in my ward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What I represent. The senior citizen that you're referring to, are they in the third ward?
No.
Okay. If in fact you did meet with a senior and they're experiencing some type of hardship, okay, first of all, let me applaud you for taking the time out to assist. You don't have to be an elected official to assist. I did it for many years before I sat here, so thank you. However, on numerous occasions, I've given you my phone number, I've given you my email, I told you where I live. This is about the fourth time I've done it, and I'll do it every meeting just to remind you that you don't have to wait for questions unless you just like hearing yourself speak.
That's so disrespectful.
All right?
I just got
Unless
this
you
today.
just
Ms.
like-
Hagner,
unless
you
you
asked your
just like hearing
questions, let
yourself
me answer.
speak at the meeting,
So
which is
rude.
your right, which is your right. I continually ask you to contact me about the issues you may have that's on the agenda, about issues that you may have personally, about issues with seniors and your neighbors. I have not heard from you.
This just happened
Ms.
today.
Ms. Hagner, you asked.
So how am I supposed to notify
I
you?
understand, but what I'm trying to point out to you is, you ask questions that we only can get back to you on. If you get to me, or the council at large, or the mayor, or anyone, doesn't have to be a third ward, the council at large represents the entire borough, as does the mayor, or the council president, or the BA, or anyone. But instead you choose to come to these meetings and ask, and you have to wait. There's no need for you to wait. If you call me a couple of days in advance, by the time these special meetings or workshops or council meetings come up, you'll have your answers. All right? So I think it's not fair for you to say that no one up here cares about the seniors. All right? We're not doing anything about it. I can give you names, which I won't for confidentiality purposes. I can give you examples of seniors that I helped out of my pocket. All right? That were experiencing some type of hardship. I had a neighbor that had no heat. I paid for her oil. all right? So don't tell us that we don't care, all right? Again, I'm gonna tell you, which I know you won't, but I'm there for you. Mayor Holly said something when we first got inaugurated, all right? Let's put our differences aside. We may not be on the same political, sides or spectrum, but we supported different people, and that's fine, all right? We don't have to agree on everything, but you're not allowing me to serve you. You're not allowing me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, let me just add something.
We'll go to Councilwoman at Large.
Hi, Ms. Hedman, again, the same thing, I'm a senior, okay? Just about to be 65 years old. I definitely understand, what the hardships are. The assumption is that all of us are up here without restrictive incomes or, making less than they were making years ago, or in some cases totally retired. Okay, I know what happens, I understand it. And the same as our councilman said here, we have, the reason that part of our interest goes beyond what has been done up to this point is because we do have to take into account. One thing is vital seniors who may be underemployed, they could be employed, and that's part of the initiative. Secondly, for those that can't, okay, there are senior services available that through our recreation aide, Mr. Mathis, would be more than willing to assist with. Our Board of Health, any one of us who work, I've been on the phone with assembly people, senators, proceeds, every organization. In fact, Mr. Body himself, I believe, has a background in some of these services. Our new recreation leader has a tremendous background in senior services, part of why we're bringing him on board. Right now, the objective, as I said before, is to do more than we've done before within the confines of that 2% cap, better and more expanded. But it's not by keeping ourselves isolated on an island as if we don't exist outside of these, 2-mile square town. Now, we're all, especially with these people who are coming on board, are going to have opportunities to expand to assist even further than we did before. As you know, we don't have the welfare department anymore. That was due to our former mayor feeling that it was appropriate to combine the service to save money, by joining forces with Union County. There is so many services that we give right now, but we can do more as time goes on. So I agree, we can't broadly stroke or give the opinion that we don't care. We have to work as a team, as partners. We ask you to partner with us because you are interested. I am asking, and I've asked you before, partner with us.
I've been thrown off three.
We don't want to throw you off.
3 volunteer jobs that the other mayor gave me, and I worked my behind off for free. So don't talk about partnering.
And you do, and we appreciate the volunteers, as you know.
And I worked very hard, and you know
Mayor,
it.
can
Yes.
you,
And you know what?
Say that.
And you know what? I am quite sure that, at some time in the future, if you still want to do that, but part of partnering, okay, with all of us partnering together is sharing the information and working together to solve the problems and find solutions.
Ms.
Okay,
Hagner,
not to point fingers and be mad at
Council
each other.
President was next.
okay, go
Uh,
ahead.
Mayor, with a lot of respect for you, I don't mind you coming, bringing issues to us, and our job is to resolve them. In regards to the seniors, did you reach out to any one of us?
I just
You
found
did.
out today.
Okay, I know, but when you
Just
come
like
here,
I got this today, so I can't ask anybody
I know,
any
but
questions.
don't go back and forth. But you come here and just say we don't care, but you didn't reach out to the mayor, you didn't reach out to me, you didn't reach out to anybody. But you make the statement on camera that we got a seniors that have a problem, but we're not doing anything about it. To tell you the truth, the mayor, when I call him, got anybody have an issue, money comes from his pocket, from his campaign, and then paying rent. We did that a lot. We're paying school for kids. We do a lot. The other thing I want to tell you also, we did analyze the $43,000 and in the old building that we have, the money that we'll spend to renovate those buildings, because those buildings have contamination and they've been closed for so many years, they need to be renovated, and the money you will spend to get that done will cost you more than moving to ready to go. And then the advantage that you got also, this building right here on the center of the town, you cannot have your economic redevelopment all the way down on St. George off track. You need it right in the center. If she needs to come to see the mayor, or the mayor want to go across the street, they don't have to drive or do that. So this is something very important. I do economic development. And then this issue was discussed, not just you see the resolution here tonight. It was discussed and we vended it out. This is our best deal. And the one thing I want to add to you, it's easy to critics to say whatever you want before things happen. The same way you see, add police officers, everybody's laying off. But we had 2 big crimes in Roselle for the past weeks. One lady died in front of my house. Another kids died. They caught those criminals that did the crime. But if we don't have the manpower to do that, how are we going to resolve those things? So those are the things that people come saying, I don't need this, I don't need that. My taxes are high. But when we do that, we take the hate for it. But when there's a crime, Mark sent me an email. What are you guys doing? Is everybody safe now? This is his email to me and to the mayor. So if we don't have the manpower to find those crimes, how are we going to be able to tell everybody it was one isolated incident, go back to your business? Those are the things. We take the heat for it. I don't mind taking the heat, but when you come to the county, I tell the truth also. You cannot come here and say, hey, I have seniors having a problem. You guys don't care. Did you call me? Did you call the mayor? If you've done that, then you can come say, I call you guys, so return my call. We're trying to be very proactive here. We got something, we send it to the BA, we send it to the mayor, and then they act on it. They got the chief, everybody on board. Give us a chance. And then if you're doing a bad job, I'll tell you I'm sorry. But if we're doing a good job, we're trying to cover all the bases, tell us, keep doing it, encourage us. Because all this hiring we're doing, we spent over $200,000 just on recreation for 2 months. 2 months, $200,000. So now you're going to have a recreation director who's going to restructure the way we do business in this town because I was wasting of money. Okay? The senior citizen, I'm not saying we're not doing them the best, but we got a director that's going to be accountable to bring more to the center where we can not just get one group ethnic. This is one of the things I discussed with the mayor. We got Haitian, we got Spanish, we got a lot of people from other group ethnic. They don't frequent the community center. They pay our taxes too. Every 4 houses that's sold in Roselle, 2 Spanish, 1 Haitian that buying them. What are we giving them? Nothing. So for you to stay here to say that, I can say, you know what? My community is getting 5,000 Haitian here. What are we giving them? So you cannot be talking like that. We have to try to serve everybody, and that's what we're doing.
Thank
Maria.
you, Council President. Councilwoman?
Maria, don't ever let anyone try to diminish your right to speak anywhere, about any issue that affects you, the borough, as a taxpayer. I hear a lot of condescending talk about, oh, did you call me? Oh, did you do this? That's on camera talk, but you know the talk that goes on when these cameras are dimmed. You know the blatant disrespect, okay, that goes on when these cameras are dimmed. Okay, we talk about, police officers, we hired more police officers, but as I understand it, all of these people that was hired this evening was from breakage from retiring police officers. We hired police officers to replace the ones that retired, so where's the money? You asked a very relevant question. Okay, exactly where is the money coming from? Just because you might hear a lot of spin and going around in circles and talking about previous administrations and, oh, call me and do this and do that. When you reach out to people when this camera is off, it's a completely different attitude and it's a completely different answer. I applaud you for coming here, for asserting your right as a citizen and a taxpayer to ask the questions that need to be asked and to get the answers that the rest of the community needs to know that the information is not forthcoming. This has been the most closed administration I have ever seen. This is not an open, transparent administration. You don't find out things until a special meeting that's not even supposed to be televised at an inconvenient time, 6 o'clock, when taxpayers can't even come out. But I applaud you for coming out every meeting, knowing what the issues are, and speaking your mind. Don't ever let anyone diminish or take that right away from you, because that's what America is about. Thank you.
Let me just take part in this conversation because I take great offense, especially the team of professionals that we have on board, our business administrator and clerk and department heads. We have a very open administration. We have a very transparent administration. Everything that this administration has done thus far has been publicized on either TV 34 or on the website, which has not been done in the past. We have had special meetings because we have the approach of getting things done when necessary. There's no reason, as the councilman said, to wait 30 days to come to a meeting to address certain concerns. We take that same approach in terms of getting business done. So when there's things that need to get done, and I'm looking at the agenda, I think it's a great agenda because it's actually hiring people and putting people to work to move the agenda and the needs of this town moving forward. This is transparent, and when we have every single council person who is available to meet on items that we need to move this borough forward, guess what? If it's not a regular meeting that we need to meet and we can have a special meeting and gather to move this forward, we're gonna meet. This is not gonna be the first special meeting, and it's not gonna be the last. We need to get things done, and you know, I wanna take it back because you hit a point in terms of seniors, how we don't care about seniors. You know my history, you know my life, it's no secret. I was raised by a single parent grandmother who went through struggles, okay, to make sure that we had a roof over our head and food at the table to eat each and every night. I know the struggles that seniors and grandparents and people who are 55 and older who go through the struggles. They go through the same struggles as working parents who have 2 jobs. That is not to be ignored. But there's things that need to get done and there's things that need to be addressed, and these are needs of the community, not any of us up here personally. When we restructured our police department, we put more cops that were at the top level down to the bottom level to put more cops on patrol. We restructured our fire department. We appointed people to positions that were at less salaries than there were before in past administrations. So yeah, we do have monies that we can now be creative and innovative to address the needs of the community. So we have every intent to be under the 2% cap. We're working day in and day out with our CFO to make sure that we stay within that cap. We're not just spending them. We don't have an open checkbook. Because at the end of the day, when those tax bills come out, yes, we do have to make sure that if those residents do come up to that microphone, we do keep them in mind that their hardships. If they come up to that microphone and say, well, what are you doing? Our taxes are going high. We don't want that argument. We didn't get into government. We didn't run for office to do bad.
Exactly.
But we're utilizing the resources that we have, such as UEZ and grant money, to be creative and innovative. So it's bringing on an economic development coordinator so that we can have a one-stop shop person to handle our business community, to bring in new ratables with other businesses and developers that want to come in. So that our commercial ratables drive up. So you don't, as a property tax owner, as a residential property tax owner, have to pay for the bulk of this. We believe in sharing it and spreading it across the board, but we can't do that if we don't have a person or things in place to address it. It's just not gonna come.
Yeah, we get an expert too.
And we're bringing in qualified people. Maria, I think the councilman and the councilwoman said this before, and I said it at the January meeting. Partner with us. We realize we have an enormous amount of issues, topics that need to be addressed. But I told you what this approach is going to be. I know you're not used to having direct answers or people who address your concerns right away. But our approach is we have the solution, we have the issue, we go after the solution, and we just get it done and we move on to the next. So please join us. Please call us if you have a concern. If that resident is having an issue with paying his taxes, did you give him the information so he can get a senior property tax deduction? If not, see us.
I filled it out for him.
Let me finish. Good.
So, see, this is why it's okay to go back and forth, but
you didn't mention
have the
that.
last
But
word.
you didn't mention that. But no, you have your moments. But provide us the information so we can help this senior. Don't come up here attacking us. We want to help that senior because just like he's a friend or a neighbor of yours, he's a neighbor and friend of ours, and we represent him, and we want him to stay in town. We want him to prosper here. We don't want people leaving our community. We don't want another vacant home. Doesn't serve the borough well, doesn't help us. So please partner, share. Let's exchange ideas. But I will not tolerate, and I think this council will not tolerate you constantly coming in here with negative comments. Let's work together to get things done. Let's get it moving. Roselle's got a great potential to grow. So partner with us so we can have it. So we can be that great town.
And then I forgot also to add, at one of your meetings, you said, look at Cranford when you drive. For some of you, I think it was you exactly, said you drive to Cranford, You got those nice downtown.
That was amazing.
I said it.
That
You
was
say that,
yes.
you wanna go to Cranford, but look at on TV to see, Cranford went through a lot of struggle before they got
That's
those
right,
big
before they got
buildings.
where they're at.
I mean, they have problems with the zoning, the planning board,
Exactly.
the developers and everything. So now, we're trying to do the same thing, so you're gonna have to have people saying resistance, but after the fact, they're gonna say,
Wow.
So I don't mind the heat, I told you that. But at least after the final product, come down and say, you know what? I didn't want to buy the ambulance, but the ambulance saved my mother. Because when we bought that ambulance, everybody wanted to give us hard time. But now the other one went down, the new one is the one that's being used now.
Any other residents coming forward?
I have a quick.
Please state your name and address for
Hi,
the
good
record.
evening, Council, Mayor, and Council President. Cynthia Johnson, 127 East 10th Avenue. First of all, Councilman Auburn, I would like to commend you and your family, because as I was coming home, I saw a lady in the street and I saw you and your children over there assisting when the police came over. So when people complain about how high our taxes is, we have to really take a step back and look and see what our public servants are doing, okay? Yes, our police department is on point. Yes, they're doing what they have to do, okay? Also, we're complaining. Yes, there was a homicide in Councilman Turner's ward. Not one time has she reached out to the family. Not one time has she called a community meeting, okay, in reference on how can we come together and solve this problem or this issue. Yes, there's an issue, but ask yourself, where's the issue at, okay? I'm just sick and tired, and I commend all of you for the job that you guys are doing, okay? Always remember, put God first and others second. People are going to sit down, they're going to criticize, they're going to complain on the jobs that you're doing. We don't hear no criticism, then you have a problem. But as long as everyone's complaining, then you guys are doing an excellent job. Councilman Sandiford, I had a resident that's in our ward that reached out to you for information. I didn't know it, so I sent again. You were calling, also you, Mr. Auburn. So I commend you, gentlemen, on the job that you're doing, reaching out to the residents. If I don't have the answer, I definitely send them to you. And I appreciate that. And keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
Does everybody mind if
Forward.
I sit? Or
You're
do I?
asking for it. So just the microphone could pick up.
Mark Milton, 718 Sheridan Avenue. One thing I just want to address, that email I did send to you that morning. My son goes to the school across the street. I sent that email to make sure that it is safe to send my kids to school. So if you took it as something that other than it was, I just want to let you know that.
Not at
Usually
all.
in the town where I'm from, if something happens close to the school, then there's a big thing, there's a mass either email, text that goes out. Since I didn't get that, that's my cause of action. So I thought that was my right to find out, since my children go to the public schools in here in Roselle. Two things. The youth program, which is a good thing. One of the things I want to ask is, if there's 30, I assume there's 30 slots to put kids in jobs here. I guess that's what's happening. As an intern, I guess they're going in as an intern, which is, intern means no paid help. And they're getting money from this program. I assume that's the way it works. There's a month, as she said, in March 13th. There's not that many jobs here, I don't know of any jobs, really in the business community in Roselle. 30 slots have to be filled. Is it something that they have identified at least half, or do they have those names of these slots already been, are they gonna meet that mark in 30 days? By March 13th, of putting 30 kids in that slot? If that doesn't happen, what happens to the program? And then also, what program is geared to the businesses? Here we are, we're gearing programs to the kids who need help in getting placed for jobs and everything else. But what specific program does the administration have that has to deal with the local business that is struggling right now, that has been struggling? So I assume you already have a special program already set up to help those businesses. I just would like to know which one it is and what that program is going to be doing. And the other thing is the economic development coordinator. We're hiring a full-time economic development coordinator, you're renting 2 suites, leasing 2 suites across the street. I assume that economic development will have a team, because if you're renting 2 suites, I assume that you already know that that coordinator must have a team coming with them. Excuse me. Now, is that true, or is it just going to be that economic development doing all the work? And if so, if there's others a part of this team, how many people are you hiring to become a part of the economic development, to help out the economic coordinator? Because does it warrant having a whole suite for one person? So that's what I'm asking. I just like the questions. And
Sure.
answers.
Let me start off by saying that, one, the grant we received from the county is well funded. Okay, they're strictly coming from county dollars to help the people in Roselle and also the businesses who were hired. The goal of the program, as Ms. Guest mentioned to you, is that we would pay those particular teams monies to work, and at the end of the program, we're hoping that if they do a great job, that the businesses will hire them, and or they will get the necessary job skills they have to go on to future things. That's one. Yes, we do have a plan in terms of our businesses, from facade programs to loan programs to stimulate the economy and Roselle. I'm not sure I'm familiar with what you've done in terms of, talking to the Business Chamber of Commerce, and from the conversations that we've had with them, no one else has reached out other than this administration. So you may not believe that there's jobs out there, but we have over 300 businesses in Roselle that have vacancies in their their locations right now that are looking for people to work. The problem is that there's been a disconnect with Borough Hall and the business community, so that you never would know. But until we reached out, that's when we realized that there is opportunities, and this is why we're partnering with the Chamber of Commerce, so that we have first dibs, in a sense, of getting these jobs for residents of Roselle. And that's why it's Roselle First, the Roselle First initiative, because Roselle residents will be given first priority.
Oh, so just quickly.
No, you asked the question. Mr. Milton.
There should be no
Mr.
problem
Milton.
placing these 30 people.
Mr. Milton, you do this to us all the time.
I don't do this to you.
You asked the question. Let us answer it.
I'm trying to.
We can have that
follow-up
conversation afterwards. There's no follow-up. You asked all the questions. We said politely.
Okay, so
there
was no talking back?
No. I'm asking you. I'm answering your questions.
Because I saw some talking back.
I'm answering your questions.
Okay.
As it relates to the economic development coordinator, yes, she will have a team. As I told you, the economic development coordinator in its first initiative is Roselle First, is putting people back to work in Roselle, getting them job skills. That's our veterans, that's our young people, that's people who are going to be returning from prison right back to our community, getting them jobs. And regular people such as yourself, if you needed to walk through those doors. Yes, they will have a team, but that's the next step. As I told you, if you had paid attention to my comments, the youth component is the first component because of the grant opportunity that came first in January, and we had to jump on board. But this will all be rolled out shortly. This is all a plan of putting our people back to Roselle. And yes, the economic development coordinator will have a team. The suites is enough room for the entire team, because we have to have the residents walk into a one-stop shop to get the necessary training, certifications, and information to go back to work. So yeah, this suite is a suite, like a one-stop shop center. It's going to be the Roselle First one-stop shop center to address all these variables that you're mentioning. So we have it thought out. It's a step in the right direction. It's progress. It's going to take time. As I told you, this is just one component with the youth department. We're getting that off the ground. We did that tonight. That was part of getting this off the ground. And we hired an intake counselor and hired an economic development coordinator. But all the other things will be rolled out very momentarily. I think there was any other.
And when you were asking about what the businesses in the chamber, because I've been meeting with them too regularly, of course what they're asking for is bring in other businesses. They need anchor stores. They need other businesses that help make the shopping districts look more available and interesting to consumers. They need the assistance, as you said, with facade programs and with new streetscaping and with monies when they can't afford necessarily to hire initially. Okay, it's a win-win situation where you can actually give them some help while they are also training. You know, again, you know, this is an effort, okay, to work in partnership with our businesses and to bring in rateables at the same time while trying to keep the people in Roselle, you know, employed to the best of our ability. And that's a very important thing. That's a very important thing. So our businesses are on board, our chamber is on board. They are so excited about this to partner with us and with the community. And that's what we needed. We haven't had that. They've almost gave up because there was no relationship, because a shadow organization was developed that was unsuccessful, that detracted from the chamber. They almost ended up not having a chamber at all. And now they're excited for the future and will be on board wholly with us.
Okay, you got more questions?
No, I was just gonna ask, who's the president?
Yeah, Valerie During. I already talked to her about you, and I think the mayor's gonna have a big launching,
Yeah.
and I think you can give him the date. How you doing it? We can invite you to really tape it, be part of it, because I don't want you to just come to the meeting and tape the meeting. I want you to tape what the mayor's goal, because the thing that people don't understand, and this is the way I've been saying everywhere I enjoy being, not only a council president, a councilman. You got a mayor come out with an idea as an administrator, chief of the administration. This is my goal. How you guys around me can make me achieve that goal. And the goal is like, you know, he has his plan, and then this is the way I want it. So our job as a council is to take that goal and the plan and to make it reality. And then that's why we come to a meeting and vote on them. I mean, we cannot get the heat, but we sit down with the administrator, we sit down with the mayor, and then we go back and forth. So when we put it in reality, so this is your product. It may not be the greater program, just like when they talk about Obamacare, people complaining. But by making consensus on his goal, the way he wants to finance and do this thing like that, he may not gonna get everything he wants because we strapped with cash. So, but at the end of the day, the final product, we got 30 kids coming out from the high school. Instead of going on the street or going fight on the park, they're gonna find a place to go to get trained, and then they're gonna make money out of it. And then that one-stop shop, if you look at around the county, not many towns have that or cities. So this is a plus for Roselle. So you got a one-stop shop. If you lose your job, you can go to that place. You know what? I lose my job. Can somebody help me find a job in Roselle or any connection? This is networking.
That includes any vendors who might also have
Exactly, and
opportunities.
they will call the ball. The other thing you said about your email, I don't have anything against your email. Actually, I like it. My point is like, you know, when you send it to me, I have to give you an answer. That's my thing. Saying, you know, hey, can my kids go to school? And I sent it, the mayor got it too, and then he answered you because he got the more flexibility to answer you back. He's just like, you know, I got a problem. How can I resolve it? Nothing wrong to ask him the question. We just have, we still have to give you an answer. And then you have to be satisfied with the answer. Not just tell you there's an investigation going, and you say, oh, that everybody can say that. He said, now I told you, we found we did the crime. That you feel more resolved about that, right?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's exactly what you're there for. Yeah. So I had no problem with the mayor's response, your response. I just wanted to know about my children. That's all. The safety of my kids.
And I had that concern in mind because I put my nieces in the same situation as if I had to take them to school as well. So that's why I responded and told you that you can go on with your daily lives. Your children were good enough to go to school. It was an isolated situation, unfortunately. I hope that it never happens again. I hope that this was a message being sent to the public that you may think about committing a crime, or if you do commit a crime, you will be captured in court and we've given our police department the equipment, we've given them the manpower to go after these people who commit these crimes, and that's part of why we support the police department and put in more patrols on the street, because any event that we did not, and we had layoffs like other towns, like what's going on in Newark and like what's going on in Jersey City, we can have that same situation here. So we've been creative and innovative in restructuring our police department, putting more patrolmen on the street so that you and your children are safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, can I just sit down?
Sure.
No, I got problems with my back tonight. So.
Now, I just wanted to add that I think that also, in addition to sending it to us, it would have been more applicable to maybe also CC the Board of Education and Dr. West, the superintendent, also. Because all we would do is, you know, we developed a partnership, but then all we have to do is go to them for the answers, because the same questions that you're asking us, we would have to ask them. You know, and as a journalist and as a taxpayer, they'd have to respond to you, just as the mayor and our council president did. You might have got a faster response from the Board of Education with respect to, is it safe to send the kids to school? This happened around the corner, from the schools. Thank God it was on a day where there was no school. But feel free to,
No, I just knew that there's a initiative for a partnership between the Board of Ed and the council.
Which is the,
So,
secure
again,
our schools.
Mr. Olbert always gets back to me.
That's true, but
Always. So that's all. That's all. So there's no.
No, I just wanted to make-
I'm happy that Mr. Olbert, the mayor, sent me. I think it was in 20 minutes or whatever it was. It was answered. That was it. I'm happy. I spoke with Eves. I said thank you. That's all.
No,
Nothing
what
else.
I'm trying to make, Mr. Milton, is in as much as the Board of Education couldn't speak to an issue concerning the borough, we wouldn't want to speak out of school with an issue pertaining to a question with their schools. That's all I'm saying. So, perhaps you can forward the same question to them.
Any other public members?
Yes, there is. Welcome back. Thank you, my dear.
Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson, the last time that we saw you at our council meeting was actually in this room a couple of years ago.
I know, and that was not a good one.
Welcome back. Well, we've had a good dialogue tonight. We had a great meeting. We got a great agenda moving Roselle forward. So we take whatever criticism or ideas that you may have, so that we can better move Roselle forward.
First of all, I wish to apologize for coming in late.
No problem.
I also want to say that you made a statement about you post these meetings on email and Channel 34. But what about the residents that do not have these type of entities to receive these messages? Like for me, I'm speaking for myself. I don't have an email address. I only have a phone number. I have not received anything on the phone number to say that you're having this meeting. Even if it was an emergency meeting, how would I get informed? I was doing my exercise tonight, walking around. I came in and I was downstairs in the courts. And the officer said, "Are you here for the meeting?" I said, "What meeting?" He said, "Get upstairs, please." Now, let me show you my council, please. Last meeting we had was in December. There were only 3 people there. Gave you my address and my number. I have not received any kind of communication from you as to when there is a ward meeting. So I don't know. How am I to get in touch with the borough if nobody is in touch with me?
Wow, it's so scary that you sound like me, because I tell the council people all the time, let's do mailings, let's speed it out. Please don't mention that, because I understand. No, it's just a joke. Listen, by law, we are only obligated by law to post this meeting by newspaper or sending a notification over to the newspaper. By law, that is all we're supposed to do. Well, it may not be in the newspaper. It may be in the newspaper, it may not be. But by law, we are supposed to notify the newspaper. But that stops there. We take it a step further as a government, because we're open and because we're transparent. We put it on our website so that those that do view the website can get that information. And we also put it on TV 34 so that anyone who is home, they can view it as well. Other than that, there's really no other lines of communications that would be an extra expense. That would be an extra expense to you as a taxpayer. Now, if you want us to start deciding to do mailings for meetings, we can do so. But I don't want to hear the questions of extra monies being spent for things that we don't need.
Well, I can't.
Well, I'm only just so you.
I cannot.
So by law, our only obligation, just so you know, our only obligation is just to notify you through the newspaper.
Suggestion, Mayor.
You said this was posted on in the newspaper.
Yes.
Like when it was posted in the newspaper, they had an emergency meeting tonight.
It's not considered an emergency meeting. It's a special meeting. And people, but it's a special meeting, and by law, all we have to do is give the newspapers 48 hours. That's it.
Is that done?
Yeah, of course, we have to by law. And that's why the first statement of complaint that's read in the beginning of the meeting, tells you what we've actually done to constitute this meeting.
So I apologize, but I walked in.
No problem.
I did not hear that.
Not a problem. That's what we're here to help you.
But as a concerned resident, and I'm trying to have dialogue with my council person.
Sure.
And I go to the meetings, and I get no response. I don't even know when the last meeting was, since was December of last year. Like I said, I don't know. I don't.
Okay, Mr. John, your time is up. She's going to answer your question, okay? You have a
I
seat.
know when the clock was.
The fourth ward meets every other month. Unfortunately, we had our December meeting, our next meeting was February, and it was a meeting of me, by myself. No one showed up. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources or the time to contact every resident in the fourth ward and ask them to come out, which is why I announced the meeting date at the council meeting. What I will do is ask if, and I'll speak to the VA about this, if the meeting dates can be posted on the website under the council page or something like that. Since it appears that, residents are
Mr.
not
Johnson, you can't
hearing,
respond back.
when I announce the meetings at the council meeting. But Mr. Johnson, you have my phone number, please call me.
I honestly don't have the phone.
Can I give it to you again?
You may do that.
Okay, so then I think that takes care of that.
Seeing no,
Mayor, I have a special announcement.
okay, let's close the meeting.
Okay, she's gonna call.
Okay.
Special announcement. Seeing no others coming forward, I close this portion of the meeting. Is there an adjournment for the meeting?
Motion move.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Mr. Johnson.
I have a special